Maneva na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can also leave a comment after watching, or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277-128-777. Thank you. Lawyer Amaliba has finally reacted to the EC's conduct after they came out with a statement saying the Kwadaso MP was just given a token for a lunch, not bribery, which he said is not something they should condone or go by. He also condemned the MPP for sharing weed during the election, saying that act is very terrible and should be condemned. If I may ask, if the Kwadaso MP should be giving a lunch money to the EC, was he prepared to? Because the money was in envelope, that means he's having an aim of bribing, not necessarily giving money to them. If you were to be giving money to them, I don't think it should be in envelope, because I can see he prepared the money down to bribe them, and I'm not sure it's for lunch. Was he ready, or have they informed him that they will be taking lunch, so he should come with an envelope of money? Which is keeping me thinking, and I need your thoughts on that on the channel. We need your thoughts on that, please. That's my thought, but I don't know what you'll be thinking, and you can drop that at the comment section button for us to read. Thank you.
He's a legal practitioner as well, and Abraham Amaliba, good morning to you. This is your green smoke, dear. You have to order one for me. Oh.
You know, I have a couple of them. I'm a lover of smokes, so yeah. It's not far-fetched. If you say you want one, I can get you one. But did I hear that in the Ejisu by-election, the MPP was distributing weed to people to vote for them? Is that where we have gotten?
We'll come to that conversation.
Is that where we have gotten to in this country? Roland, it's not a laughing matter.
I know.
After
that's why we're
bribing people with money, now you are bribing them with weed.
We haven't started the conversation.
Huh? But that is, the image of this country is sinking under this administration. That's terrible.
Well, so make sure you join us as well, because it's one of two of the conversation we'll be having. And the first one is about all post the Ejisu by-election and all those elections and the actions of the Electoral Commission that we seem to have observed. Does it seem to be eroding the trust of the Electoral Commission in the run-up to the 2024 general elections? And so let me just do my last introduction. Lawyer Kwame Jantua.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Great.
How are you?
Great. Yeah. So let's have a conversation, and you know all that transpired, the concerns that had been raised post the Ejisu by-election. The Electoral Commission say investigations were underway. 2 individuals apparently had said that, well, they received the envelope from the Member of Parliament, Kingsley Nyako, Dr. Kingsley Nyako, then also saying that there was no money in the. They said it was just lunch, etc. But we're talking generally about the Electoral Commission, and then also its image, its actions in itself prior to the 2024 general elections. And Dr. Obeng,
hi, Roland.
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you say to the initial conversation on the subject?
All right. Good morning to Mr. Jantua and good morning, Mr. Amaliba, and our viewers who have joined us this morning. So clearly, we are making mountain out of a molehill. Considering what happened in Ejisu. If indeed a member of parliament sought to bribe any EC official, I mean, a whole lecturer, former lecturer of the University of Ghana, he's smart enough not to do it in public, in such an open place. And his reason for giving out such envelope clearly stated, and except people want to be mischievous about it, you can clearly tell that indeed the member of parliament was just trying to be human, and he asked if the people had eaten as at then, and the people said no, they're actually hungry. So he just read his packets. I mean, MPs, MCs, I mean, even normal individuals, we travel with some petty cash in our pocket, and we don't have to do good to people because of political inclination or political benefit. So clearly, The Member of Parliament did it out of humanitarian grounds to help assist the EC officials to get food to eat. In elections, we see it all the time. All political parties, through their reps, send packs of food to their representatives at the polling station and by extension giving some to EC officials. So it's not the first time. Had it been food, would we be here to say that the Member of Parliament sought to bribe any EC official or induce him or her with monies? But of course, we expected such spin and malicious intent clearly from the opposition NDC. And going back just a few trips down memory lane, Mr. Mahama is on record to have stated times with that number when he was president that our Electoral Commission is one of the best we have on the continent and earned some accolades across the world. And anytime anyone criticized the EC, Mr. Mahama did not spare any moment to remind us that our Electoral Commission then was very competent and was up to any task that the EC had to execute. He even, in most occasions, would tell people, have your say and let the EC have its way. But after losing the 2016 elections, Mr. Mahama took on a new cloth, became a new person, led the NDC onto a path of war with the Electoral Commission. And let's give you a few instances. In September 2020, prior to the election, during the voter exhibition exercise, Mr. Mahama referred to the EC as being incompetent. And an EC he claimed was the best on the continent, metamorphosed to become an incompetent EC, clearly because Mr. Mahama was in opposition. In October 2020, he questioned the professionalism and integrity of the EC, saying he would not accept any flawed election. That was even before 2020 election. After 2020 elections, NDC went to court, challenging the legitimacy of the results that were declared. They called their party foot soldiers to be on the street, demonstrate against the EC. We all saw what happened at the premises of the Electoral Commission. And then after the court case, they went to court. Don't forget, Roland, that they went to court without any case. They rather wanted to make their case from the EC chair. And when the courts accepted the fact that the EC chair did not want to testify, we all saw what they said. The then General Secretary, now the chairperson of the party, clearly told the whole world that they were not in court to say they had won any election. But that was the impression they had created and had put in the minds of their foot soldiers that they had won certain election. Rather, the EC had stolen the verdict for the New Patriotic Party. But in court, we also happened. Rather, complaints about not being served with bread, but they were given tea with biscuits and all that. So we saw the symbolic display in court after the 2020 elections. And just after the elections, in September, Mr. Mahama went to Kumasi during his thank you tour, and he spoke on Mercury FM, and he attacked the EC again. Said the EC was on a warpath with the NDC, said the EC had refused every proposal made by the NDC after the 2020 election. And in February 26, 2023, he was observing elections in Nigeria as one of the leaders of the West African Elders Forum. He said the presidential aspirants in Nigeria all came to one consensus that, yes, they indeed believed the integrity and professionalism of the EC in Nigeria. And then he went ahead, took to his Facebook page and said he thought he could say same about the Ghanaian EC. And once again, started attacking the EC chair. And just last month, April 14, at the London School of Economics, he told and once again attacked the EC officials and tagged them politically biased, and that this government was recruiting EC officials who are also having party affiliations to work at the EC. So these are just examples of, litany of attacks. Mr. Mahama had led the NDC to attacking the EC. And what you ask yourself, what really has changed from a political party or a leader that believed that the EC was one of the best on the continent to metamorphosing to become an EC that warranted all these attacks? But we believe that in an election, you need to be able to prepare yourself, prepare your base, prepare your message. You've been in power before. Tell people what you have done. If indeed you believe you have records, go to the people and tell them your policies you are introducing. We in the NPP believe that we have worked enough. Education, health, agric, every aspect of the economy. We believe we have done so much, and that that is the message we are sending to the Ghanaian. And what Dr. Bawumia seeks to do as president, his tax reforms, his vision for education, his vision for the youth, his vision for the mining sector, his vision to make sure that we bring back the golden age of doing business, putting the youth at the forefront of governance and business in Ghana. Dr. Bawumia is seeking to address the people and tell them what he can do as a president. That is what we believe that the NDC should be able to do, other than attacking the EC. In one breath, when you were in president, the EC was one of the best on the continent. You became an opposition leader, and all of a sudden, the EC is bad, EC is biased, EC is politically affiliated, and these things definitely will not augur well for our democracy, seeking to undermine the very institution that will man our elections, and he's moved to other realms as well, attacking the judiciary, left, right, center, or to seek or create certain impression and create the base. Tell people that indeed the EC is against the NDC.
At the end of the day, critically, it's the summation of the actions of the Electoral Commission, even culminating in the by-election in Ejuso. The NDC even didn't participate. And there are key integrity issues that will lead to the erosion of trust of the Electoral Commission. And here is the CDD head, H. Kwesi Prempeh, raising issues about how the Electoral Commission has refused to critically assess the concerns that have been raised by political parties regarding the way they undertake their actions, appointment of individuals known to be members of the ruling party, affiliated to it. Imani Ghana has also raised a number of actions as well. They talk about procurement irregularities, and then the abrupt means by which the Electoral Commission interfaces with the various political stakeholders. It's not an NDC problem, is it?
Good morning to your viewers. That is why when my friend was on the tangent of former President Mahama, I was shocked at his submission, whether we are talking about the same subject matter that you introduced. In any case, when President Mahama was praising the EC, he didn't appoint known MPP apparatchiks into the commission. Today, that commission is populated by...
You mean known NDC, not MPP?
Okay, yeah. Known NDC apparatchiks into the EC. Today, that commission is populated by known MPP apologists. And I am not saying it. You have read some of these things from the civil society organizations. So if you have such an appointment where the institution has been bastardized, what do you expect? Tomorrow, if I am appointed into the EC, you think I won't be doing the bidding of the NDC? But this president, called Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is on a mission and has a policy of bastardizing critical state institutions. Look, in the judiciary, appointment of known MPP apparatchiks into the system. And you sit here to say that why should former President Mahama criticize the EC when the output of the EC it shows clearly that they are on one side. Why? You just mentioned what's his name? The doctor, the one who went to bribe people. No?
The member of parliament.
The member of parliament.
Well, he said it was
Since when?
Just normal envelope.
Since when did he become a philanthropist? Since when did this man, my good friend Jantua, I met him at the airport when we were both traveling. Since when did he become a philanthropist? Now, if you want to know a person's mindset, the monies were packed in envelopes. It betrays his mindset. So he was working with envelopes, for instance, we saw the two different envelopes. If you intended to help somebody to get food to eat, do you give that person bundles of money in an envelope? Is that food money? What happened to a 50 cedis note or a 20 cedis note to buy food, if that was your intention? Clearly, it was meant to corrupt the officials. And so, if you find the EC having dismissed those people from the polling station and saying that we shouldn't be quick to judge, what was the purpose of that envelope with the money? They've not denied that it was money. Apart from that, this EC is suffering from confidence of the people of this country. The lack of confidence in the EC is so pronounced.
By what means?
And I will not blame the EC. I would blame the appointing authority. Because if you appoint such caliber of persons to the EC, Mahama had the opportunity to do that, but he appointed people who were not connected in one way or the other to the NDC. That is a statesman. But look at the appointment, the nature of the appointment, the manner of appointment, the people who have been sent there, affiliation to the MPP. And so, their conduct in office too has given them away.
The Electoral Commission?
Yes. When 2 machines were missing, they never came and told people of this country that that had happened. It took the NDC to, as it were, blow out that act that took place.
The machine became 5.
They became 5 later. Now, I am hearing from Imani Ghana that they sneaked out some DVD machines or so to unlicensed or uncertified company to, as it were, engage in recycling of the machines.
Yes.
And this is our data. Me and you, our data, our information. If this were a serious country where they hold dear their data information, look, EC boss would have been gone by now. But we are in a country where the president and the government of the day is engaged in shenanigans which presupposes to people that this is a government that is not interested in the welfare of the people. So nobody will be sacked. You saw a video of Ejisu where an official of the EC was stuffing ballot boxes. Just a video.
It's not. The Electoral Commission has come out to issue a statement that video is not emanating from Ejisu.
But that is an Electoral Commission's process. Apart from that, when they were doing this regional, they were dividing the regions. You saw in Volta region, at the tail end, EC officials themselves thumbprinting and putting in the ballot boxes.
You mean the referendum?
The referendum. EC officials themselves thumbprinting the rest of the papers and putting in the ballot boxes.
So you're saying there are a series of actions which...
Their own conduct gives them away. And they don't seem to be interested in dealing with the matter when these things come up. And that's what one of the civil society organizations talked about.
We've had constant complaints from the CDD as well.
When matters are raised, this EC would not attempt to do anything to correct the situation. Today, what has happened to those guys who were picked? I was told that they are asked to go home and then report to the police. Is that how we do it? What if they abscond? What if you can't trace them again? So, it's not about former President Mahama. It is about the conduct of the EC and how they go about doing their work, which is a subject matter of controversy. Never in the history of this Fourth Republic have we ever heard that a pin has got a meeting in the EC. Never.
The Electoral Commission says in the disposal of the BVDs, they had to go according to the recourse to law. But Imani Ghana also says that there should have been proper audit of the machines before they were disposed of.
No, but even the company that they send the machines to, is that company certified to do such a job? Because you want to deal with people whose credibility you can vouch for, and that this data will not go out and be used in a different way. That company, the EC board, should be answering this question. The company that they dealt with, was it certified to do that type of job? So I think that this EC has lost it. They are only there to do the bidding of the MPP. When you look at the appointments to the EC, it's clear to everybody. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that this EC is there purposely to do the bidding of the MPP. Period.
Lawyer Jantua, there are key considerations when you do an assessment about what the concerns are. You look at even what the poll numbers are coming from Global Info Analytics and other civil society organizations, for which even Imani Ghana says that it has come to a conclusion that there are reasons why the current Electoral Commission has become pathologically misgoverned. And they even put out a brief. And subsequently, they even in recourse to the disposal of the BVDs, which as we all know is used in the storage of the data because it used to collect the data when it comes to the registration and also at the time that we need it, says that the Electoral Commission should stop lying that they saved $57.9 million from procurement of new BVDs, etc. Because they are saying that they were just updated not too long ago, and being from 2016 and 2019 at the total cost of $60 million. And so if you want to do the disposal, you have to make sure that you're undertaking work which is not causing extreme financial loss to the state, and at the same time is transparent to all the key stakeholders, whether it's media, it's fair, foremostly also to the political parties, etc. How fair is that an argument?
Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my fellow panelists. We are deviating from the main topic that we are going into. You see, one challenge we have in this country is the question of transparency and accountability. Today, I heard the finance minister talk about they are going to increase expenditure in social matters to do with the general public.
Social spending.
It's social spending. How are you going to increase expenditure on social spending when we know we don't have the money?
We'll collect more taxes.
From where?
In economics, that's what.
If we collected more taxes, wouldn't we be able to solve our problems? Will we not be able to solve our problems? The president came to tell us that the doomsaw is over. It's not going to happen again. Everything is sorted. When we know the doomsaw situation has got to do with finance, have they told us where they are finding the money from to solve this particular issue? And have they been able to tell us, going forward, it's not likely to happen again because we've covered everything and everything is kosher? It's a question of transparency. And it's also a question of the fact that at the present moment, government cannot put its hands in, spend willy-nilly in an election year. So far as I can see, they are finding ways and means to make money everywhere to do that. Because SML, I don't understand it, where it comes from. This one too we are talking about. Where does it come from? BRVs, BVDs. We had for the last election. When was it? 2020.
Yeah, there were some purchases that were made.
And they're doing more purchases. Don't you think it's up to the Electoral Commission to converse with the people of Ghana? The Electoral Commission is a huge institution that can create mayhem in this country.
How do you mean? It's an independent body.
What do you mean? How do I? What do you mean?
What do I mean? By the Constitution, it's supposed to be independent.
What do I mean? How do I mean? Hasn't Electoral Commissions created problems in countries?
Well, that's true.
Where we've had even near to wars, haven't we seen it?
Gabon, etc. Yeah.
And I always say the Electoral Commissioner should be a mother to Ghanaians. She should be a mother to Ghanaians. When NDC decided that they are not going to come to IPAC anymore, what happened? Did she even appeal to them? Did she say, no, you are an important ingredient in the politics of this country, and we definitely need you here? But the Constitution would have created this problem. Why is it the president who should nominate Electoral Commission? Why? Those president powers, something should be done about it. But let me come to the major subject that we are talking about. The parliamentarian. He's a parliamentarian, isn't he?
Yes.
How long has he been a parliamentarian for?
I've seen him this term.
But was he there last year?
Pre-2020.
Pre-2020. Yes.
I can't confirm.
So I asked the question, when he was leaving his house in the morning, did he have an intention of doing what he was doing?
You mean Dr. Kingsley Nyako?
Yes. Did he pack the envelopes and put it in his pocket because he had the intention of doing what he was doing? Or was it on the spur of the moment thing that he went up to the Electoral Commission officers and asked them whether they were hungry? And in the code of conduct of the Electoral Commission officers, are they supposed, when somebody makes such an offer, are they supposed to accept that offer? Do they not have ethics? Should they not have told the gentleman that, please, we can't accept this. It is not in our code of conduct. We are fed by the Electoral Commission when we come on these particular by-elections. So please, keep your money. Did they say it? So if they didn't say it and he put the money on the table, why won't people insinuate that it was a bribe? And if it was a bribe, what was that bribe meant for? Was it meant to skewer? Was it meant to skewer some counting or what? What was it meant for? But he's a parliamentarian. He knows the laws. He's a legislator. He should know better. He should know better. And in situations like this, I don't expect Doc to come here and be talking about John Mahama and this and giving us an epistle. That's not what I expect from him. Did he do wrong? If he did wrong, the fact that he's in your party, be able to tell us that yes, he did wrong. He shouldn't have done that. Where does John Mahama come in here? Where does, President Akufo-Addo come in here? Where? Were they there when they was giving the money? Did they hold his hand? They say, man, put the money on the table for them. The question is the individual who did the act. What was his intention? As they say in law, what was his mens rea? And why did the Electoral Commission officers also accept? Why did they even tell, no, we haven't eaten? It goes to show, maybe this happens. Maybe they've been briefed. If anybody comes and puts money on the table, take it. I find it appalling that such things happen. Look, wisdom.
From an MP?
Yes, from an MP.
So he's just giving them
listen.
Documents.
Wisdom appeals to the mind. Folly appeals to senses and emotions. And this parliamentarian, he let folly appeal to his senses. If he let wisdom appeal to his mind, he won't even have attempted doing what he did. Now look, if others are taking you on and saying it's a bribe, who are we to say it's not a bribe? When you say, oh, I just went, because I felt they hadn't eaten, is it your responsibility? Is that what you're supposed to do as a parliamentarian? And even if you went and you realized they hadn't eaten, aren't you supposed to go to the
restaurant and buy food?
Not even restaurant. There's a head there, and all the officers.
So we have
all the officers there.
A registration officer who supervises.
Go to him.
An Electoral Commission officer who supervises.
Go to him and say, why haven't your gentleman eaten? And if he doesn't give you a good answer, you're a parliamentarian. Call the Electoral Commissioner and report. Say the men have been here all these hours and they haven't had anything to eat. Why do you dip your hands in your pocket and put money on the table? Especially in an election. How does that happen? It goes to show, election, let's open our eyes. All of us should open our eyes. And you see the impudence of a dead cockroach. He did it in the blare, of everybody. If he didn't have some kind of, he thought that it was MPP thing, so it was okay. Is that what the MPP does? Doc, Is that what you guys do? You go. I don't know. Because I don't understand it.
Should I answer?
It doesn't make sense to me.
They graduated him to giving.
It doesn't make sense to me.
They are saying that what
it doesn't make sense to me.
They are doing worse than that. They are now giving we pack.
This is elections. Elections that everybody eye is in there. Yes, the NDC didn't stand, but it made it so important because of the individuals who were standing on behalf of the MPP.
Going by what you're seeing, actions of officers or assigns of the EC, other political stakeholders, in the elections we've seen, especially from 2020, 8 people dying, for example. So nobody is accounted for. We've seen by-elections. And now this. What are your fears for December 2024 if nothing is done in holding the Electoral Commission more accountable, as well as other institutions that should make it more responsible?
Is the Electoral Commission not aware that our elections have been monetized? Are they not aware? And if our elections have been monetized, what are they doing about it as an Electoral Commission? And that is my fear come 2024. Where is the money coming from? You don't think we should ask the question? In the previous elections that were held with the MPP parliamentary and presidential, did we not see money changing hands? Plenty. What has the EC said about it or done about it? Isn't it against the law? Shouldn't they take the upper hand? Shouldn't they? Or is because it's their government in power? And why do I say government in power? Who put the Electoral Commissioner there? Look, we should look at this constitution very, very well. We should look at it again, especially the president's powers, because it's not helping us. You need an Electoral Commissioner who is what? Open to everybody, not one-sided. Sometimes when you hear some of the things the Electoral Commissioner says, you ask yourself, is she an MPP person? And it doesn't help us. It wouldn't help us.
Dr. Obeng, at the end of the day, we've seen appointment to the Electoral Commission where people blatantly are communicating for the government, governing party. They even use first singular pronouns, others as well, to claim ownership and then participation. At the end of the day, they are supposed to be in an independent institution that's going to be a referee for an election that's for all. And then also you get assigns of the commission, and they don't seem to, like what has transpired in the past, become more accountable in terms of their relationship with stakeholders like civil society, whether it's the media as well as a political party. Even though you're a member of the governing party, shouldn't that be a cause for worry for you?
The Electoral Commission is independent.
But we have individuals who have been appointed who are known affiliates of the governing party. That's not fair, is it?
Non-affiliate in terms of what? Is any of them having any political party card to show that they are a member of the MPP or the NDC? We heard rumors that the previous EC chair once contested for primaries in the NDC. We saw certain posters around.
But that's not true.
But it is true today.
Yes, because the
EC
people themselves
members are having MP party cards.
That is not true, and this is categorical.
But it is clear today, it is true today, that the EC members, the officials of the EC are having MP party card. Do we have any record of such? There's no record of such. How would you associate the EC chair and her deputies to be affiliates of the Patriotic Party simply because you're on the other side today? Mr. Jantua, what will cause the mayhem is not the Electoral Commission doing its job. It is with the sentences and the pronouns you are making. The pronouncements you are making. That's because they feel their party is in power. You just associated the EC officials with the Patriotic Party and the government.
It's their actions.
When you make such statements, when you make such statements,
he's directing it at me. So I'm also
when you make such statements on platforms like
go
this,
on the streets and ask.
You are associating
go on the streets and ask Ghanaians. I said go on the streets and ask.
These are the statements that will cause the mayhem.
Go on the streets and ask.
So when we get the opportunity, like you were telling me, not to have gone on the tangent I went, I didn't expect you either to sit on TV3 platform and tell Ghanaians that the EC feels their government is in power.
Of course.
I think you need to retract that statement.
Not retracting.
How would you get this opportunity
that is what
and associate the Electoral Commission of the country Mr. Jantua.
I said that is the
CPP is an unchromized.
Oh, please.
Sitting on
Don't
this
go down that
platform,
line.
telling us today.
What has he done that you're attacking his person? Did he attack you?
He's telling me.
Dr. Obeng, please be respectful and fair to your co-panelists here. No.
I am being very, very
Dr. Obeng, please do not attack or try assign personal invectives and vituperations to your co-panelists. It's a very respectful thing to do.
Mr. Jantua is telling me
it's a very respectful thing to do.
I have gone on the tangent I went. And I'm also reminding him that why would you also sit here and propagate falsehood that the Electoral Commission today believes it is their government in power.
Go and ask the people.
The Electoral Commission is MPP.
Open the phone line.
The Electoral Commission is President Kufuor's government. That is what he seeks to say. Okay. And that is where I have a problem. Okay. That we don't have to sit on a platform like this, bastardize our institutions.
Actions
we don't have to do that.
Than words.
We don't have to do that.
Actions
so I can go
words.
ahead and make certain inference because of your actions. We don't have to do that on a platform like this. Now, moving on. Mr. Amaliba, where in the world would a political party like the MPP go and be sharing weed to people? Clearly, we don't have to go once again on this tangent. How can you come and sit here and say that MPP went to share weed to people in our stronghold? For our own people to go and smoke weed, get high, to come and cause mayhem in our own stronghold. It beats any logical imagination.
There will be their report.
Now, moving on, that MPP people, they saw MPP. They said they came. They saw MPP. They said they came. They gave them 100 Ghana cedis. MPP functionaries.
They gave them 100 Ghana cedis.
They saw MPP functionaries doling out weed, doling out cannabis. They saw MPP functionaries doling out cannabis to people to go and smoke the weed to come and do what? In an election in our own stronghold. How would you explain this to anyone? If you were to win an election in a place we don't perform, an election in a place we don't have good numbers, then maybe people might entertain such thoughts. But Ashanti region, a Driso, where our previous candidate got over 65,000 votes, and you are telling me we shared weed to people for them to go and vote for. It's an insult to the people of Ashanti region that they are so cheap that we will use weed to influence them to go and vote. They deserve an apology. The vote is actually just a little less than 64,000. They deserve. It's not up to 65. They deserve an apology to say that the people of Ashanti region, Ejisu people, are so cheap in quotes that the MPP has to convince them with weed for them to go and vote. Why? Ashanti people don't do better. They don't care about schools. They don't care about roads. They don't care about fiscal infrastructure, education. They rather require weed to go and vote. Now, moving on.
This is an Afrobarometer report.
It is clear. Do you know
the Afrobarometer report?
Can I finish?
The Afrobarometer report, as published latest 2024, does indicate that only 1/3, 33% of Ghanaians sampled say they trust the Electoral Commission of Ghana somewhat or a lot. It is the lowest trust level recorded in more than 2 decades of Afrobarometer surveys.
If Mr. Jantua sits here and tags the EC as MPP, if Mr. Jantua sits
Mr. Jantua did not undertake partake in the Afrobarometer report.
Refer to them as they thinking their government is in power. This will be the result, because Mr. Jantua is telling the whole of Ghana and everyone watching us today that the EC is politicized. And that is where the problem is. So these things have the propensity of trickling down and influencing certain people, provided the research is anything to go by. But once again, we will not deviate from whatever is happening. We know the tricks of the NDC: attack institutions, attack the EC, let the EC become like a monster in the eyes of the Ghanaian to prepare their base to reject the impending doom they are about to suffer. They did say before the 2020 elections, they called the EC names, they politicized the EC, they bastardized the EC, and in the end, they called their supporters to go on the street, to go and demonstrate, because the EC had changed certain values. Now, to end, Mr. Mahama said something very profound prior to the 2020 elections, 2016 elections, when the MPP was making sure that things were done properly by the EC. And I quote, "Lately, it has become fashionable for the largest opposition party to discredit the EC. All kinds of accusations, including unprintable insults, held at the person of the EC chair have become normal," says Mr. Mahama. "This is unacceptable. But for students of politics, we can see the strategy behind it, he said. It is an old trick in the book. Vilify the referee and reduce his credibility in the eyes of the public when you can tell you are losing the match. This creates the platform when you lose your contest, the outcome of the match becomes rejectable. And this is the underlying force of all the winding that is taking place against the EC at the very step of the electoral processes. And yet, the EC chair, the same voters, registered processes, the same party has participated in by-elections and won in this. This indeed is a paradox. So, Mr. Mahama, the NDC, what Mr. Amaliba is doing here today, what Mr. Mahama has been doing from before 2020 till now, what Mr. Jantua is helping the NDC to do, all is to prepare the minds of the NDC supporters to reject the impending doom that is coming at them. Indeed, they do not have a message. I thought when you get the opportunity, you rather explain to people why you think we should be eating at 2 a.m. I thought when you get the opportunity, you rather explain to people what the Nkoko Bo Nketi means. I thought you rather explain to people what it means to say when you want to remark WASI papers. I thought when you get the opportunity, you taught the people what you mean when you say our Bs or our SSS students do not have the capacity to pass the exams they pass. And your policy is to come and remark our papers. Your policy is to have a black stars that will be mandated by local players. Your policy is to Nkoko Bo Nketi. I thought you go to the people and explain to them what is Nkoko Bo Nketi. I thought you go there to the people and explain to them what you mean by remarking WASI papers. But they will not do that. They just want to prepare the minds of their people for the impending doom. And Mr. Mahama means no worse prior to the 2016 elections when he categorically made such statements. So we understand the game, like Mr. Mahama said. It is all geared towards vilifying the EC, run down the institution for people to reject the upcoming elections, the fate that's about to befall the National Democratic Congress. But we believe, as a party, as a government, that you should go to the polls telling people your record in government, telling people what you did when you were vice president, and telling people what you can do when you get the opportunity to serve the people. And that is what the MPP is doing. That is what Dr. Bawumia is on the platforms everywhere. He is making sure that he's telling the people his vision, his aims, what he wants to do. Mr.
Amaliba, at the end of the day, what will be your considerable view that needs to be actions taken by the Electoral Commission, which could, for example, reverse some of these perceptions that citizens have? For example, I just told you about how it's only 33% of the sampled views representing the whole of the voter population who either trust or just have some trust for the Electoral Commission prior to this big election we're coming up to.
In a minute, I'll answer that question. But you see, what is the policy of Dr. Bawumia? What's the policy of that What is the policy of Mumfasti? You come to sit here, you've run down the economy. The TUC on May Day told you in your face how Mahama's administration was far better than your administration. Companies are winding up. Apart from the company I've been mentioning here, Glovo is winding up. Companies are winding up. You come and sit here. You see, these communicators are the reason why when Akufo-Addo goes to some communities, chiefs refuse to get up and shake his hand, and he's worried. Because they are angry with such kind of communication. Why? Bossman was a patron of their Tescom. That is connected to the MPP. Apia Hine was in the MPP Bono executive. You sit there and say that, do they have party cards? Look, I am saying that the next elections, this election is coming, it's a watershed elections. If you are a presidential candidate and an EC commissioner announces the final results 5 times, results transmogrified 5 times, which has never happened in any part of Africa.
Okay.
Not even Ghana. The whole of Africa, where an electoral commissioner comes out to announce election results 5 times. Would you have confidence? You, doctor, you sitting here, would you have confidence in that electoral commission? Where the electoral commission announces 5 times results, then you say that Mahama. You are in your 8th year Yet, you cannot stop mentioning Muhammad's name. You have created mess in this economy. You have bastardized institutions cannot talk again. Institutions that were a bulwark of our democracy.
Is Amaliba answer my question?
Have now become
please
stale.
The question. Yeah.
Now come to your question. That is why the NDC brought about a reform which says that the EC is a regulator and at this time conducting elections. Can we assign them to only the role of conducting elections and have an institution that regulates political parties so that like the PURC, you see, the PURC is sanctioning
the ECG,
so that regulator can sanction EC and they'll sit up. Now you have the EC being a player and a regulator. So you can see that in this current EC, they are tilted towards one political party. But if the regulator was there, how many offices do you have? If your offices are not enough, we'll close you down. 2, as a regulator, we want to find out whether the political parties are keeping up to their accounts, because after every election year, you have to provide audited accounts. Are they doing that? This regulator will be the one responsible for the conduct of political parties' behavior.
Why do you want to create parallel institutions?
It's not a parallel. PRC is not parallel to ECG.
Well, that's true.
That's what I want you to know. That's why I've given that example.
Yeah, but the Electoral Commission is clothed with the powers based on what we have in the Constitution.
The Electoral Commission is clothed with the powers of conducting elections. But regulating political parties is what I'm talking about. Political parties that go about bribing people. That regulator would have sanctioned the political party. We have evidence. There's evidence of people giving we in the Ejisu. People, natives of Ejisu, said that MPP gave them we to smoke and go and vote. If you have a regulator, the regulator will sanction the MPP. So that's my answer to your question. So for him to sit here and say that the people of Ashanti know well, what actually surprised some of us was that you do this to your own people by giving them we.
How do you mean?
How do you mean? He was saying that that's their strong, they won't do that. And I'm saying that
that's his argument.
That's the flip side of the argument.
He said that those people captured in the video, as reported, were lying.
Yes,
that would be my
and they are not. And
summary of.
And they are not natives of Ejisu. The flip side of it is that his argument is that I am also surprised that you do this to people in your stronghold by giving them we. Where are we going with this conduct of the MPP? You bribe election officials. This is not the first time. You know what is his name? John Boyd did that in this place. Asenoff. He was caught on tape. John Boyd. For them, the illegal acquisition of wealth is now to be used to buy the elections, and that is their mentality. So don't be surprised that you will be seeing more of this.
The argument is that elections are won at the polls. That's a counter argument to the argument you just posed right now.
No, but you want to give EC official some money. We know some of one of the guys they gave the money was a ballot issuer. You know what a ballot issuer can do? Have you contested election in school before, where the ballot issuer can tear 4 of the papers and give you to go into that small room? So you go and give a ballot issuer that fat envelope, and you expect that he will be clear in his mind to do the work. And so I am saying that the EC have a duty to, as it were, make themselves look good, and it's only day and day alone. Jantua will not come here and sit if they hadn't announced 5 different results. What was he going to say? What was Jantua going to say if Jim Mensah hadn't announced 5 different results?
Jantua.
So I think the EC has not covered itself in glory, and that is the problem.
Now, Mr. Jantua, what will be 5 expectations of you of the EC in the run-up to the 2024 general elections? What will be your expectation of them by way of their posture, based on what you've seen so far that you think should be at variance to that, so that could turn the tide when it comes to the trust and the atmosphere that needs to be created prior to the 2024 general elections, based on what you've seen so far?
At least the EC went back on their word with regards to the indelible ink. They went back on their word with a few things. They should be magnanimous enough to be balanced. To be balanced in everything they do. Look, politicians only come for 4 years. And if the people of Ghana feel that you've done a good job, they will give you another 4 years. When politicians get power to rule, they shouldn't now overtake our institutions and make our institutions feel as if they are useless and that they are gods. Why do I say this? Where is the Public Services Commission today? The Public Services Commission should be a strong body, strong body, who are responsible for interviewing people who want to be electoral commissioners, interviewing people who want to be ECG chair, interviewing people who want to be XYZ. That is where it should come from.
So you're saying we need massive reforms?
When the president was taking the electoral commissioner, did we know whether she had any experience? And let's even talk about all the electoral commissioners who have come in this Fourth Republic. Did they have any experience in this kind of work? Did they all not come and learn on the job? And when they get in there and they don't know, they don't have the experience, isn't it the people in there who have the experience who tend to coach them? And if they coach them in the wrong way, what happens? How can an electoral commissioner mention 5 different times results? How? That is where the mistrust started from. That is where the mistrust started from. Because Ghanaians couldn't understand, how can that be possible? How? For me, I believe the president's powers with regards to nominations of heads of parastatals should be looked at. Because definitely, the president will choose somebody he knows. The president will choose somebody he feels would do his bidding. He will do that. And it's happened so many times. Because this is our president. His main focus first is politics before country.
Yeah.
That's his main focus.
Yeah.
His main focus is how do I place the MPP in a strategic position before country?
Yeah.
It's happened over and over and over again. And it has to stop somewhere. And it's only through the Constitution we can do it. 96 members of your party come and tell you that move a Minister of Finance, and you tell them what? Do you respect them? You don't respect them. So far as I can see, politicians tend to overtake the responsibility of our institutions, and that is a challenge, and it has to change. All
right. Well, we still have Kasha goes with the short code star 439. I have a couple of messages, so let me just quickly run through
just before you go on.
And then we'll go on to the next one.
One of the viewers I should ask, Doc. Mr. Nyako said the envelope wasn't money, it was documents.
Yes, first.
So what was in the documents?
I have a question for you too.
What was in it? I'm not asking you. It's a viewer.
Someone too.
It's a viewer who's asking me.
It's from a colleague too.
The colleague? Yes. I don't know this man.
I don't know this person too.
Can I?
He's a CPP. He's asking why you don't speak for the CPP when you come on set.
Please.
Have they brought the CPP?
Have they brought the CPP matter?
It's a question for you too.
Ask those who bring it up.
Are we talking CPP?
I have this one from Backman. Backman says it's obvious that Dr. Kingsley Nyako's action was premeditated, as the cash was already contained in an envelope. Well, he was just unfortunate to have been caught at that point because the camera of the reporter was live. And then also I have this one from Landlord Borga D-Line. It says, when you look at our current EC, the less we talk about them, the better. All right. Now, Akwesi Boating. So Akwesi Boating in Shaiso says, for all the things that we have to talk about, a lot of development has taken place. There's a Fiėrcė, for example. We should be talking about those things. The Electoral Commission, truly, if you look at its history, has matured as an institution, where the actions of the EC and its assigns go against stated norms, not only law, it will erode the trust. But the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has done nothing to the Electoral Commission. The Constitution says the president should appoint. And so if the president appoints someone that is closest to him or the party, we have to interpret it based on law. All right. This one also...
So the president could have appointed a moron.
Well, it's the actions. So this one is coming from Nat, who says, I love the composure of lawyer Kwame Jantua, very matured. And also we have many others. This one is coming from Adekoka, who says, we have to be decorous in our communication. If you have and meet people who are experienced, you also have to be in the same mood, knowing that you're educating and then also informing people. All right. Now,
thank you for watching. PENDREAM TV really appreciate your time. Please, if today being the first time here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to receive any update that will be loaded onto the channel. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.